Greetings everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Awakening Your Kundalini Masterclass, advanced teachings for raising your energy vibration to live joyfully between heaven and earth. My name is Stephen Dynam, the founder and president of the Shift Network, and I feel blessed to be with you, getting to experience an uplifting energy and expansive consciousness on this call today, and really deep insights into how to harness this powerful evolutionary energy in us that's known as Kundalini and its connection to the wider cosmos. We're going to get to explore with a really delightful and profound spiritual teacher and somebody who also bridges other worlds. He's a former filmmaker and speaker, and somebody who has really been a remarkable teacher for so many in the Shift Network over the years. So his name is Raja Choudhury, and we're going to have this hour with him. And I also want to let everyone know that we're going to have a brand new deep dive advanced Kundalini program that we're going to share more about in the latter part of the hour. So much more to come with Raja. So with that said, Raja, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Shri Matri Namaha. It's a lovely greeting I want to share with you. Shri Matri Namaha means may the Divine Mother bless us and let us dissolve into her. Shri Matri Namaha.
Well, it's a perfect way to start. But let's begin our journey today with a bit of your backstory and what brought you to the path of awakening Kundalini and teaching others how to do that themselves.
Stephen, before I begin, may I invoke the gurus and call them in to dance with us a little bit, if that's
Absolutely.
all right, with Shiva and Shakti. So I'd like to all of you just to sit with me and imagine that you have an energy above your head, just slightly above your head, pouring into you. And imagine a beautiful statue of Shiva and Shakti dancing above you. And as they dance, they're pouring the nectar of immortality into you, and let's summon them. And so as you summon them, just relax, gaze up into your third eye if you like. And Aim Hrim Shrim, Aim Klim So, Hamsa Shiva Soham, Hasaka Frem, Hasak Shamalavariya Om Haso, Sahak Shamalavariya Im Saho, Sarupana Rupana Hetave Swagurave, Shri Annapurnamba Saita, Shri Amritanandanatha, Shri Guru Shri Padukam Pujyami Tarpayami Namaha. Blessings to everyone.
What a beautiful resonance that prayer has, and just really takes us back through eons of spiritual evolution and lineages in India. You can just feel them through each word. The sacred Sanskrit syllables carry so much wisdom and so much energy. And so let's talk a little bit about your own journey into being initiated in these lineages and beginning to activate and open your own Kundalini and then transmit that to others.
Stephen, I'm best description for me is that I'm an accidental mystic. I kind of fell into the looking glass and threw it. So I was not destined for some mystical awakening. I was an artist, an architect by training. I was doing media and digital media, and I was a creative director in New York. But I'd been practicing Kriya Yoga and doing mantras, and I'd done it for 5-6 years, because I'd had some experiences with plant medicines earlier that had awakened things in me, but I wanted to do it without medicine. I wanted to awaken this within me, and I'd heard about Kundalini and I'd heard about all these things. So I started doing these practices, and I was in New York, and it was 2006. And when I did this integration after many years of Kriya breathing techniques and mantra, something awakened in me. It was like 1,000 suns exploding in my third eye. My spinal cord erupted like a volcano. It was like tingling, a plasma of electric currents flowing out of my heart. It was the most incredible experience I can imagine. And it has not stopped since that moment in September 2006. And so here I was, creative director in New York, having a mystical experience. And my whole life changed from there. And I started becoming much more mystical, I started exploring. We traveled to India, and before I knew it, I was meeting gurus and yogis and amazing people and being initiated into paths that I never imagined possible. But my whole time, I always saw myself like a bee. I was going from teacher to teacher, collecting honey for the honeypot of bliss in my own heart. And I was really trying to do that. And so in a way, my intention was to be my own guru, but I needed gurus to do that. And so I now do that for people. I'll help you to become your own guru, but I'll initiate you into the techniques, the breathing, the mantras, and how to do it. And then you're off. And I can be a friend, a coach, a guide, something like that for you.
I love that metaphor of the bee and the honey pot. So
Mm.
let's talk a little bit about this lineage and what Kundalini is and the whole
Mm.
Kundalini Shakti lineage and really what's been passed down over the centuries.
Well, the Kundalini is known all over the world as the sacred feminine power. It is in Isis, it is in all the traditions. Wherever you see serpents or therianthrope, half animal, half human forms, wherever you see that, Kundalini was known, an inner energy in you. And this energy was always considered to be a sacred mother, a goddess. Now, why was she a mother? Because, Stephen, we're living in an age called the Kali Yuga, the age of Kali right now. That's why, to a tantric like me, all this chaos, climate change, political chaos, intolerance, injustice, gender inequality, all these problems around the world are part of this catastrophe kind of acceleration of human evolution to a point where we're coming to a tipping point. And that we call the Kali Yuga. And the goddess who controls that is Kali, the one who has there's a picture here of a tongue sticking out and 10 heads that you can see here. And this tongue sticking out 10 heads is the image. And this tradition says that inside you, she's sitting there also, this Adi Shakti, the first goddess, and she sits at the base of your spine. And if you can awaken her through these practices, through this mantra techniques of Tantra, then you become a living warrior of peace in the world. So imagine being a peaceful warrior in a chaotic world like we have today. So awakening Kundalini creates a person in you that can take on whatever comes in a balanced, blissful way. And so this is the tradition I come from. I was initiated in the Kaula tradition, which is a Sri Vidya Kali Kula tradition. So it comes from the goddess tradition, and I bring that to the world.
Beautiful. Well, let's maybe share a little bit about what happens when Kundalini starts to activate and how to really work with it in a safe and evolutionary way.
So the thing about Kundalini is that we in Tantra, we call it 3 types of Kundalini, right? Most people, when they think about Kundalini awakening that they see in videos on YouTube or on teachers, is called Prana Kundalini, which means that this energy gets activated in your Ida Pingala, in your these subtle channels in your body, and you get erratic experiences, orgasmic experiences. You feel like you might be having a nightmare. You might be having bliss too much. These are early stage Kundalini awakening syndromes. So we use techniques of grounding and breathing to control that energy, so you're in complete control. Now, what happens is that there is no dark night of the soul. There's just early stages of awakening. And when the second stage comes, it begins to become subtle up the spinal cord. You get light, you get bliss, you get a feeling of just radiance all around you. And that's called Chit Kundalini. And then the final stage, when it becomes subtle, and you get to dance with Shiva and Shakti above your head, and you open your third eye, then it's called Para Kundalini. And these 3 stages are what we teach, and you're going to experience as you work with me here today and in the advanced program that we're going to do.
So let's talk a little bit about what helps to accelerate, what helps to channel the energy, and how to sort of work with it in your body.
So just imagine that your body is made up of 3 worlds, right? The kind of animal nature in your lower area your reptilian brain, which is all about fear and flight and sex and food and all that stuff. Then you have your heart, which is your amygdala, your kind of consciousness, your emotions, your being. And then you have your higher brain, which is your function of, on the extreme, it can be extreme chattering, and on the other side, it can be complete tranquility. So we are going to try and wake up these three channels, these three parts of our being, the three cities we call them, and we call them suns as well. So I want you to show you, if it's okay, a technique of breathing that will show you the three ways, the three parts of your being. Would that be all right?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody just sit with me, and I want you to clench your bum, like tighten it, and pull it up a bit. If you're a man, pull it back. If you're a woman, pull it up, and then pull it up your spine, like and then tighten the back of your neck and hold it for a few seconds with a double breath, and look up and put the tongue to the roof of your mouth. And then I want you to double breathe it out. Tighten your bum, squeeze it up, pull it all the way up to your neck, put the tongue to the roof of the mouth, look up into your third eye, hold it for a few seconds, and then double breathe it out. One more. We call this the Ashwini Mudra. And what this does is that all your senses are like mad horses and chariots running off in their own different directions. By pulling it in like this, you're controlling all your senses at the lower part. So you overcome all your fears, your traumas in the lower world. The next part is we're going to open that energy to the heart. So I want you to lean forward a little bit and rhythmically do breathing into your stomach like this. And you'll feel a kind of weird happiness will come. And gyrate your stomach in and out while you do it. And collapse your stomach in, and just rub your belly, and let you feel light in your heart, and the lightness will begin to come. And the final one is called the Bhairav Mudra, where we activate the vagus nerve on the left side. And the vagus nerve is activated by, first of all, clenching. But what you can do is inflate your belly first, smile, widen your eyes, and then stick your tongue out at me and make a face to me. Shall we do it one more time? Inflate your belly, pull it up, smile like an idiot, widen your eyes, and let it out. Again.
That is hilarious.
So
Why does that work? Why does that work?
Because what we're doing is we're shutting down the three states of our mind that make us go into all kinds of chaos. We're just stopping them. It's like a default mode network shut down instantly. What you can do in 5 hours of mindfulness, you do one time with this Kriya, and boom, you're back to steadiness.
So what's actually happening in your energetic anatomy as you're doing those different kriyas and locking and expressing that way?
Well, I mean, just think about it. We are victims of all our hormones that come up through all our fears, and from endorphin and adrenaline coming up. And then if we're doing well, we release serotonin and dopamines. If we're doing badly, the amygdala goes nuts and we go emotionally traumatic. We remember everything that's bad about our lives. We start chattering in our minds. We have stories we're telling. So we're trying to shut down the default mode network by activating the vagus nerve. This is the most important thing here. So how do we do that? We control our lower body, all our urges, our sexuality, our food. We control our heart and the vagus nerve. And then we control this kind of fire in us that brings us calm to the mind and shuts the default mode network down. So at this point, you have in that one breath shut down your default mode network. And now you can introduce a thought like a mantra or a concept or a desire or something you want to create in the world. This is how quickly it can happen.
Beautiful. So maybe say more about that. So as I understand it, Kundalini, you're primarily focused on spiritual realization, but then there's the expansion of that into manifest form that happens in parallel or after you've raised.
Let's look at it a different way. If I don't hack my biology and neurobiology to calmness, I cannot experience higher consciousness. I cannot manifest anything unless I'm tranquil and calm. And what I want to show you here is that the first stage of Kundalini awakening is to hack your body and your brain and your chemistry, is to hack it. You really have to hack it. And hacking it here would mean shutting down all the hormones, controlling your flow, controlling your sexuality, controlling your heart rate, lowering your heart rate. All these things can be done just by simple breathing and mantra techniques. And then what happens is something beautiful begins to happen. You go into a state called samatha, which is a kind of equilibrium, tranquility. And when you achieve that tranquility, that is when we enter a state called turiya, the fourth state of consciousness. And that turiya is like where manifestation and higher consciousness begins to show itself to you. You know, that's when it happens. So you got to calm down before you can experience that.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, let's keep going. And
okay,
to link into sort of, a lot of people have studied the chakras, particularly in the Shift network, and have a pretty good understanding of the 7 major chakras and how those line up. So how does the Kundalini work within the context of the chakra system?
Well, the chakra system is based on Kundalini. So this is from it's a very ancient teaching, but it was kind of put together in the 15th century by a tantric, Purnananda in Bengal. And he described what he called Shat Chakra Nirupana, which means 6 chakras, how to awaken your Kundalini through the 6 chakras. This was when it was first ever described. And an Englishman called Arthur Avalon translated that in 1918, and it became a bestseller, affected the Theosophical Society, and then the whole chakra thing exploded from that. And the teaching there is that if I awaken these 6 centers, in fact, in Tantra, we call them lotuses. They are like lotuses that bloom, right? Each one has a certain number of petals, each one has a sound. So I'm going to teach you a sound. And I mean, if you look at this picture, you will see that I have 6 chakras, all have a sound next to them. Look at the sound. They are lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om, and then silence. So if you come back to me, you'll see that let's do it together. So to experience mantra activation of each padma, each chakra, we just chant the bead sound. These are called seed sounds. And that awakens them. And they start, so imagine, as you do the sound, imagine there are lotuses and they're kind of opening for you. Each one is opening. Each one is opening. Can you imagine that with me? Come, let's sit together. Tighten your bum a little bit and start with the ground, earth, lam. Now come up to your swadhisthana, your sexual area, your sacral area, and say the words vam, vam. Now come up to your manipura in your belly button and imagine a roaring yellow fire, ram. Now come up to your heart center, the anahata, and imagine a beautiful green emerald, and the sound is yum, yum. Now come to your throat, and you've come through the 4 elements, and we're going to cut off our head and become space and sky. We're going to become a skywalker, and we say hum, hum. And then you come to your third eye, and you can rub your third eye a little bit just to feel, look up into your, rub it and look it up there, and just say the sound of Om, but not Om, but Ah, U, So, Aum. And once you've gone through the whole body, these are the 6 chakras, you sit at that 6th chakra, waiting for the goddess to descend through the 7th chakra and bless you. So it's a kind of waiting game now in your heart or your third eye. And you look up and you just sit in silence. So let's go through the 6 again. Ready? Come to the bottom. And we do it in one go. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum. And look up and feel yourself becoming space, akasha. And bring it back down into your Muladhara and ground yourself to the earth again. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum. In that silence, you enter into the Turiya state, observer state, the witness. And now bring it back down. Lam, vam, ram, yam, hum. Now, if you look at this picture, you see the goddess sitting there with her trishul and she's got all the chakras. And then you see in the next picture these sounds that we just chanted: Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Aham, Om. This is called the garland of letters. Come back to me. This is called the garland of letters. And we call it the mala. And this, if you learn to do the garland of letters, Kundalini fully blossoms like each lotus blossoms. And that's what I teach in this very advanced master course we're going to do. So I love doing this because you really feel it as you do it. You know, you begin to sense it, to see it. You visualize it as a lotus. You sense it in your body. You feel the sound vibrating and awakening it. And then the breathing takes it all the way up. So this is what I want to share.
That's beautiful. And so each chakra has a seed syllable that is its parallel or its activator. And so when you do them in the right sequence, then you're creating the whole mala from top to bottom. Is that accurate?
You know, the Kundalini path is called a tantric path, and Tantra is defined as yantra with mudra and mantra to achieve awakening. Yeah. So yantra is a visualization. So it is like a geometry or a color or a goddess. You are looking at something outside you and it becomes inside you. So you're visualizing. Then that visualizing, the imagination kicks in. Then the mudra is the posture. Each of them has a mudra, right? That we do. So, you know, I will teach complex ones, and there are all kinds of beautiful ones we can do together. You know, the yoni mudra, there are too many beautiful ones we can do. And as you do, if you hold the mudra while you're sitting, namaskara is the best one. You begin to activate all the nadis, the prana in your body into a controlled way. And then you sit and you chant the mantra after doing the breathing. And then you chant the mantra. And then, boom, it awakens.
Beautiful. I wonder if you can relate this to, I know that you've talked about Kundalini as the feminine force, but this sort of the dance of the masculine and feminine and how this plays out through our body, mind, and consciousness.
So this is the real meaning of this, because Tantra and Shakti, Kundalini Shakti, is the dance of Shiva and Shakti. Now, Shakti is energy, matter, all this nature that we're in. So that's why Kali is considered to be the goddess, because she is nature. She is Mother Nature. She's in the plants. She's in your body. So we celebrate the body as a temple. That is Shakti. Now, Shakti if awakened correctly, dances with consciousness, which is the universal mind, the mind behind everything, which is Shiva. And if I can get these two to dance together, the beautiful dance in the cosmos, like that mantra we did at the beginning, remember when we brought it in? That is a dance mantra. And that dance of Shiva and Shakti is the experience. So I'm going to teach you a little simple mantra right now that will activate the dance of Shiva and Shakti in you. Come, sit with me. So just relax and look at the tip of your nose, identify it. And I want you to put your fingers there and measure 12 fingers above your nose. And you come to about this point, right? In Tantra, this is called the Dvadashanta. It's in a beautiful text called the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. And that is where the consciousness enters the body. And it comes to your heart center, which also is 12 fingers below your nose, right there, called the Hridaya. And it sits there. And then it turns around and the embodied consciousness, Shakti, goes out and with a sound. So as I breathe in, I want you to hear the sound hum. Try it. It's almost like an inhalation. And as you turn it around, bring it to the heart center, turn it around and release it like a sa. And then hum. So the best way to do it is to put your mind in your third eye, either with eyes open or eyes closed. Just look up into your third eye and bring it down from above your head, hum, to your heart center, and sa. You can exaggerate it at the beginning to feel it. So it's like, like an ujjayi breath of yoga, hum, and then sa, like a release. So Shakti goes back to consciousness, and then consciousness comes into Shakti. Hum, sa. This is the dance of Shiva and Shakti, of Bhairav and Bhairavi. Sa. Sa. Now do it quietly without the inhalation. Just hum. I'll do it for you. Sa. Hum. Slow it down. Slow down your heart rate. Slow down your breathing. Sa. Close your eyes and experience the dance of Shiva and Shakti going on between the hum and the sa. Hum, sa. Now, as you bring it in, I want you to just hold it for a second at your heart. Hum and hold it. And release it slowly. Sa. And hold it out. And bring it in. And hold it. And let it out. Sa. And bring it in. And turn it around. And let it out. Sa. Now, many techniques in yoga and others have taken this, but it comes from a beautiful text called the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, which is the dialogue between Shiva and Shakti, between Bhairav and Bhairavi, between consciousness and the body. They're talking to each other. The body is asking, what is it that you are in that consciousness, in that vast? And how do I find it? How do I get to it? And it says, all you have to do, the first verse says it all, is do the hum and the sa, and you will dance with me. And that's the promise of Tantra. So you don't have to do anything else. If you just do the hamsa, Kundalini will wake up and dance for you.
I love the way you just giggle about that. And it's so beautiful.
It's
and
such
just,
bliss. It's such bliss, you know.
yeah. One thing I know we wanted to talk a little bit about today that we haven't had as much time to is really why this doing this work with Kundalini is so vital in this age that we're in, which has so much chaos and upset and polarization. How is this really not just a personal solution, but also a collective solution?
Well, let's start with the personal, right? In an age when everybody suffers from stress and mental wellness issues, how do I balance the hormones, the chemicals in my body so that I don't need perpetual fixing? You know, I don't need perpetual chemicals. I don't need perpetual therapy. How do I do that? And this is an internal practice that allows that to happen. It really does balance heaven and earth and Ida and Pingala, the two male and female in you. And if you can balance the male and female and the Ida Ping, and which is the left side is the female, which is the Ida, the right side is the male, the Pingala. And that's why the hum and the sa go like that. It's like a dance, parasympathetic nervous system going up and sympathetic nervous system being controlled down. And that's a perpetual dance that, and where does it occur? It occurs in the heart center. So if I activate this inner Kundalini, I cannot be depressed for very long. I'll get upset, something will hit me, but I'll be back very quickly. You cannot stay down. It is like a natural tranquility balancing that you have achieved. So with practice, it becomes natural for you. That is the first state you want, is that samatha, that tranquility and balance. But it also comes with another ingredient, which we call chandi or kali, which is power. It comes with shakti, energy, power. And that power has many faces. So it can do many things in the world. It can attract abundance. It can stop stupidity. It can stop negative things from happening. So when you act in the world, you first have to light this inner flame in your heart. And then you become a beacon of light. So in a world that seems to be falling apart, I have an archetypal astrologer friend at CIIS, and they were saying that the next 12 years are an age of Kali at its worst. We're going to see nothing but chaos, up and down, up and down. Yes, stock market will go up, everything will come down, but life will seem traumatic for most people, right? So we need to become beings of Shakti, beings of light in this world, so that we can act, we can do something. So in a way, what I'm offering is a training in how to become a Shakti, how to become a living fire in this world. And then you have inner Kali, you can deal with outer Kali, and you'll balance perfectly. This is what I try to offer here.
That's beautiful. So when people think of Kundalini, and there's often a lot of cautionary energy out there. People talk about Kundalini going off track, or that there can be challenging experiences as well. So I wonder if you could speak a little bit about safety and how to work with any of the potential like challenging dynamics that could emerge as well.
The first principle you have to remember is that in the way we approach it in Tantra, Kundalini is a divine mother. She is the mother whose womb we have come from and to whose womb we will return. She is the loving mother. So how can Kundalini be anything but love, right? Now, sometimes when you love someone, it can be chaotic for them because they don't know how to deal with it. Energy is spike, all kinds of things happen. So we learn what is called elemental Kundalini, which means they are not just chakras, they are the elements. We learn to control the earth element, so we're grounded. We learn the water element, so we can control all our erratic desires and creativity and madness that comes. We learn to control the inner fire so that we have power and energy and don't destroy our energy and convert that into inner fire. We have the air factor that makes us emotional and able to empathize and be compassionate and strong. And then we have Akasha at the throat, where we learn to transcend the body and become consciousness. Now, if you do not start at earth, how can you go to sky? You have no umbilical cord, you have no grounding. So all the training we do, all the teachings we do, all the mantras we do go from ground, earth to heaven. And that's how you stay balanced in this work.
So share a little bit more then about that balancing of starting with the root and working with the grounding element. What are some of the other practices that you advocate for to really create that solid grounding current?
Well, I come from a long background in martial arts and prana work. And so prana is energy, chi, ki is vital. that the more you have inner ki, inner prana, the more vital you can be, the more you have better Kundalini awakening. So the first thing we do is prana, you know, and then, and we'll talk about it in a little bit when we talk about the course, but prana is where I focus a lot of attention to ground you. Then we go to the grounding, which is by breathing techniques. We saw earlier, you know, clenching our butt and doing all kinds of stuff. That technique's elaborated, and we go with mantras to very strange and unusual gods like Ganesh and Kartik and Kali. They ground us, they keep us grounded. You know, Ganesh, you've seen Ganesh, he's an elephant, solidly grounded in the world. Nothing can move him. What are you going to do with Ganesh? You can't destroy anything. He's just going to sit there. You know? So you want to be like Ganesh when you meditate. You want to sit and just meditate. And when something happens in the world, you're too strong. Nobody can mess with you. You know, that's a power of grounding in the earth. And then we go up step by step by step. And I'll teach all this as we go further.
Beautiful. Maybe you can paint a picture of what you've seen in some of your students who really actively embark on this path and do the practices, and some of what starts to unfold in their lives as a result of working with Kundalini in this way.
You know, Stephen, I've had the blessing of working with the Shift Network for this, in March will be 6 years now. So thank you, Stephen, for inviting me to come here and join your family. And we've taught this course quite a few times, and I'm blessed to know that more than 4,000 people have been initiated into this work with us, right? And I'm in touch with over 600 or 700 of them, right? That's how good it's been for them. And of those 600-700 who keep in touch with me, they are perpetually talking about changes, miracles happening. Then when chaos comes, we try and help them. But they become crutch-free. They become less dependent on dogma or creed or other people. They become much more self-reliant and self-empowered. And every one I have seen takes those experiences and converts it into an inner being that they can turn to. Yeah, they'll stray. You know, if I stray, we all fall apart from time to time, right? But how quickly can you come back? How quickly can you resonate again at the heart center? How quickly can you do the dance of Shiva and Shakti? This is the teaching that, so I'm very happy to say that we have not had any major disasters, and everybody who's come out of it, at least a quarter of the people have had tremendous experiences. So I'm very happy.
Beautiful results, and it's heartening to kind of hear that. So maybe to share a little bit about what's your experience now that you've worked with Kundalini for since 2006, and there's different levels of mystical realization that start to open up, and really kind of paint a picture of the pathway that's ahead.
Stephen, when you work with the mother energy, life is just one miracle all the time. It's just I have a mantra that I use when it comes to the mother. I said, I'm eternally grateful and in surrender mode, but I'm never satisfied. I keep striving. I keep wanting to expand my consciousness. I keep wanting to achieve more. I keep wanting to, and you've seen me for 6 years. My whole energy, everything has changed, even in just the 6 years of working with you. You know, before that, I was 5 years of doing it on my own. And this energy rewires you. It rewires your brain. You know, I'm going to be 60 in June, and yet I have the metabolic rate of a 45-year-old. You know, I have physical abilities of that. So when you do this work, and I am a living laboratory of my own juju magic, you know, when you do this work, you know, you better demonstrate it by yourself, and then you'll see, others can see what you're talking about. So yes, I'm a living example of the madness and the beauty that comes with this.
I love that. Well, let's talk more explicitly about your upcoming program, since I know that you've created something extraordinary for people to not just hear about this subject, but really go through a step-by-step process at a distance from the comfort of your home to guide people in this activation. And it's not just a teaching, it's a transmission. There's a there's a catalytic transmission. It might be worth even sharing a little bit more about that, the transmission of Shakti and how that's a key part of catalyzing this awakening.
So one of the words we use in Tantra is called spanda, that everything is a vibration, right? In fact, every element, earth, right through to light, vibrations, right? Frequencies. Earth is very heavy and dense and, short wavelength, and light is rapid and poof, super fast, delta, beyond gamma. It's like unbelievable. In Tantra, we talk about 36 levels. And what happens with the 36 levels is that you're going vibratory from step by step by step through these vibrations, right? So what I want to do is I'm giving all of you, as a part of this, an initial training that, I'm sorry, it's showing weird. Let me just keep my hands down for a second. What will happen is that I'm giving you a foundational course, which is a 7-part module course called Awakening Your Kundalini, that gives you the breathing techniques, the mantras, and all that. Then we're going to slowly, and even if you don't do it, you can join. We're going to go through 21 weeks of practices to go from elemental energy of the cosmos, earth, right through to heaven and the higher states of consciousness, and then balance them in the heart and learn how to live with that energy in the world. So I'm going to take you through a beautiful immersion over the next 5 months into how to activate this energy, work with the goddesses, the breathing techniques, all the magic, and then return after seeing the 1,000 suns explode in your head to your heart and live in the world as a living flame. This is what I want to show you.
Well, that is a beautiful, beautiful aspiration and intention for this. So I'll share some of the practicalities. So the program is called Advanced Kundalini Awakening, safe, time-tested practices for invoking your highest vibration and bridging heaven and earth. And you can find it at the URL awakeningkundaliniadvanced.com, awakeningkundaliniadvanced.com. It's a 21-week program that's going to include this full 7-week foundational activation and training as well. So it's actually 28 different class sessions composed of 7 modules and 7 more in-depth modules for the advanced and 7 introductory modules in the Awakening Kundalini intro program. So it's very comprehensive, and it's going to take you on a journey of transformation. We can really guarantee that if you do the practices, you participate in the course, you will experience very, very real evolution and activation of this evolutionary force in you. So, Raja, I'd love for you to share a little bit on the broad architecture of the course. You're going to be taking people through introduction, different modules, and then I'll read out the module titles, and you can give us a preview of what's coming in each.
But before you start, you mentioned earlier the transmission of Shakti, right? And what that means is that if someone who teaches this has had their Kundalini awakened in a major way, like I had through practices and initiations and lineage work, what happens is that you can do this on your own, the mantras, the chanting, the breathing. But if somebody comes along who has had this awakening and they transmit these teachings to you, it accelerates your vibration, it accelerates your awakening. So my job is to coach you, to teach you, to guide you, to help you, but then to also accelerate the process for you. So I will be transmitting my own Shakti energy to you every week. And this is, I hope you can come live because there's a transmission that happens, and you will also get it in the recording. Everybody has said that even watching the recording, they get the transmission. And that's very critical to my work, is the transmission. So I wanted to just share that with you, Stephen, before we go into the architecture of it all.
That makes, it's very, very helpful to clarify that. So the introductory section called the Kula Shakti and Kriya Path of Kundalini Awakening.
So I'm going to teach you the secrets of where Kundalini comes from, what it means, what is the Kula. Kula is a word of the lotus petals that open in you. And I'm going to teach you how this works. We're going to learn about the chakra systems as lotuses. We're going to talk about the whole idea of goddesses and the energies. And then I'm going to teach you about kriyas. And kriyas are advanced pranayama techniques to activate those centers by breathing. So in the beginning, I'll give you an overview of the next 20 classes, and then I'm going to also show you little techniques to show you how we can awaken through breathing, through mantra, through lotuses, and what these goddesses are all about. So I'll do that in the beginning.
So module 1 is called The Secrets of Prana.
So as I said earlier, no prana, no Shakti. So prana, if you don't have the vital forces coming from all around you into you, through the sun, through breathing, through food, the quality of the food you eat, through your digestive system, I'm going to show you how to balance your body, your senses, so that you can absorb the most prana from the world around you. And once you have that prana, prana converts into Shakti. And that prana is what we're going to do first. We're going to activate prana. It's called prana vidya. In fact, in Tantra, prana is a goddess. We're going to treat prana as a sacred goddess that comes into all these channels in our body and works for us.
Module 2, The Garland of Letters.
So remember we talked earlier about the lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. That's the beginning of the garland letters. I'm going to teach you 108 sounds you can make in your body, how to touch yourself and awaken the lotuses. And I'm going to teach you the garland of letters of Adi Shakti. I'm going to tell you the story of Shiva and Shakti. And we're going to learn how to weave your own garland of letters.
Module 3, the Shri chakra and the sacred geometry of your being.
So, as you've seen from everything I've said, you are a sacred living temple of your own energy. Don't let anybody tell you that your body is to be ashamed or this body is to be discarded or it's illusory. No, the body is the temple. And we're going to learn how to project onto a beautiful sacred geometry, your body and the goddess's body, and see how they can merge together. I'm going to teach you the secrets of the Shri chakra, of the Shri Tripura Sundari, and how to awaken that in you.
Module 4, the manifestation and healing power of Shri Vidya.
So now we've done the body, we go to the heart, the second sun, and here we meet Mahalakshmi, and we open our hearts, and we sing songs, delicious songs to the goddess, and we find tranquility. And what does tranquility do? It shuts down the chattering mind. So I'm going to teach you how to find tranquility in the heart center, in the Hridaya, in the exchange of beautiful bliss in the heart. And by doing mantras there, tranquility will calm the mind down.
Module 5, the Mahavidyas, Kali and the remover of obstacles.
So just when you get to this point and you want to go upwards, guess what? The world comes to get you. All the chaos will come. All the madness will come. Family will come. Tell you, what the hell are you doing? Why are you meditating at 5 in the morning? Are you insane? Why are you doing all this? The whole world will tell you not to do it. So we need inner protection. So I'm going to talk to you about the 10 goddesses that protect you. The Mahavidyas, the Kalis of your body. There you go.
Module 6, the Skywalker and the grace of Lalita.
So once you've achieved the state, you cut your head off and you become a Skywalker. And we begin to look at the third eye, and I'll teach you how to open your third eye, and you're going to learn techniques of breathing and looking and mantras that open the third eye, Shiva, and then the goddess who sits on top of your head, Lalita Tripura Sundari, she starts to pour the nectar of immortality into you.
And finally, module 7, the dance of Shiva and Shakti.
So you've erupted, you've seen the goddess, you've seen the 1,000 suns, your body is electrically charged, you feel power, you feel balance. So bring it all down. And how do you find tranquility? How do you become the witness, the observer of all this? This is what I'm going to teach you, is the dance of Shiva and Shakti at the heart center. And you'll discover what is called Turiya, the observer state. And I'm going to show you how to balance your life in samatha and manifest whatever reality you want.
Well, what an amazing program. And each module is obviously has multiple weeks of diving deep into this, getting the very deep historical, esoteric information, the practices, and really the communal activation, since the group field can be incredibly powerful, as well as the transmission that Raja is offering from his own path in life. So if you choose to join, and again, all the details at awakeningkundaliniadvanced.com, awakeningkundaliniadvanced.com. You're going to get 21 90-minute live sessions with Raja. That's a lot of transmission of wisdom and value, and you'll get recordings of every session, both video and audio, as well as word-for-word transcripts to work with, study, and highlight. There'll be weekly exercises for action learning at home. There's a Facebook community to deepen your experience with other participants. And on the page, you'll see a number of extra bonuses designed to enhance your journey, one of which is what Raja mentioned before, the Awakening Your Kundalini introductory training. This is a $297 value just by itself, and we're bundling that in to this program so that everybody has that foundation, whether you've taken that program before or not. So Raja, you want to share a little bit more about that introductory training, the 7-module program you did?
So think of it as basic training for you to learn how to breathe and to do the mantras, just to keep these chakras active. So this is a 7-hour program that you can do at your on demand whenever you want. And I would ideally love you to do it before you join the course or just as you're starting the course. But what it does, it gives you, and I'll recap it in the beginning of the first program, but it gives you an architecture and a structure and a breathing techniques and the mantras that become part of our work over the next 21 weeks.
And that's included as part of this amazing journey. There's also other bonuses on the page. There's an ebook commentary from Raja called the Chakra Nirupana. This is an ebook commentary from Raja. You want to share a little bit about that, Raja?
This book, Stephen, is the book that was written in the 15th century that captures the journey of Kundalini from Muladhara to Agya, right? And then what happens in Sahasrara above. So this is the first time anybody ever in the history of Indian mysticism captured it into a book. And I have interpreted it based on Arthur Avalon's translation and my own interpretation, and provided a little ebook that you can study along with our program.
And finally, we have a special bonus that's available for folks who sign up right away. And we like to do this as a little way to encourage you to tune in now and get your own inner guidance. And if you choose to move forward today, you're going to get a special bonus. And this is called the Chakra Japa meditation. This is a separate video teaching from Raja. Raja, you want to share a little bit about that?
So we tasted a bit of it with the Lam Vam meditation we did earlier. This goes into more detail about how to experience those 6 lotuses in your body in this 12-minute meditation that I teach. So use this as a guided meditation, and it'll give you, if you do nothing else, this alone will awaken your Kundalini. So it's just a beautiful thing that will do it for you. So just doing the Lam Vam Ram Yam Hum Om, but how to visualize it, how to see it, what the lotuses look like, it's all there in this 12-minute video.
Well, that's a great extra reason to sign up right away to get that special bonus that you get by signing up on day 1. So we're really excited about this program. And obviously Raj has done it a few times before, great results. It's done live. And so you're going to be in a whole community building upon what's been transmitted in the past. And we've kept the investment very accessible, especially considering you get to include the entire introductory program. So it's just 5 payments of $263, or you save 10% when you pay in full with 1 payment of $11.97. The course is going to begin on March 28th and run Thursdays at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. And I particularly encourage you to go to the page and check out some of the testimonials, just how much blessing and how much beauty can emerge in your life as a result of embarking on this journey with Raja as your guide and activator of your Kundalini. So you are going to be in really good hands and in for a incredibly awakening and powerful and liberating journey if you choose to move forward. So again, all the details are at awakeningkundaliniadvanced.com, and you get that special bonus when you sign up by midnight tonight, which is the Chakra Japa meditation. So Raja, we have a few minutes left. Anything that we haven't shared yet today about this upcoming program that you want to share? And then maybe you can close us out with another blessing.
Stephen, the more I do this work over the years, the more wonderful and numinous the world becomes. No matter what, even mad politicians look numinous after a while. Even crazy storms have beauty in them. The thing about life is that whatever it throws at us, our state of consciousness is what allows us to thrive, to do something, to help, to support, to love, to succeed, whatever is needed. And I think that if you can hack your consciousness, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you want to just become the best potential power being that you could be, the most balanced, the most awakened? All paths provide that, but the Kundalini path is so magical, so full of Shakti that I can't tell you. It changed my life. Don't you want to be as insane as this? Don't you want to glow like this madness? Don't you want to just laugh at everything like I do? This is what it is. You learn to sukham, joy, hasyam, laugh, but no matter what is thrown at you. So come, let's play together. It'll be fun.
I love that. And you do have such an infectious laugh for life. It's just clearly coming from the depths of the cosmos. So thank you, Raja. Would you close us out with a prayer or blessing?
I'll teach you a protection mudra to keep you all in peace. So we're going to use the word Aim, Kleem, So, and then reverse it. So, Kleem, Aim. But we're going to rub our fingers. So first, take your index finger and rub your thumb. Aim. Now take your thumb and rub your index finger. Kleem. Now rub your middle finger. So. Now your ring finger. So. Now your pinky, clean. Now rub both hands together. So this energizes my hands to do good in the world. Then point at your heart center. Let me protect myself when I act in the world. The forehead, clean. The back of your head, so a shield around you. So 3 eyes, clean, and then round your head. And then you point in the 4 directions and the 4 elements. Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Om, round your head, slap your hand, and knot the fingers together and say, Digband, Hum, Astraya, Pat. And that's it, you're protected. So all of you, I give you protection now.
Well, thank you, Raja. What a blessing it's been to spend this hour with you. And I know people are going to be in for such an incredible divine blessing who choose to join you in your upcoming program, the Awakening Kundalini Advanced program. So again, all the details are at awakeningkundaliniadvance.com, and you'll get the special bonus when you sign up by midnight tonight of the Chakra Japa meditation. So thank you so much. Many blessings all.